Hey YouTube, hey subscribers, thanks for tuning in. Episodes of A&E's Hoarders has been appearing on my timeline lately. I used to watch this show back when it first came out, but I stopped and I haven't seen it for years. So when I saw it on my timeline, I went ahead and watched a few episodes and oh wow, the narcissism. Hoarding is a known mental illness associated with obsessive compulsive disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and depression. Because of these underlying illnesses, hoarders garner a lot of sympathy from those in their immediate family and lives. I'd like to propose to you today that the primary underlying disease of hoarding is in fact narcissism. I'm going to explain to you why I feel this way in the remainder of this video. As a disclaimer, no, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, a psychologist or shrink, or a medical professional of any kind. This is my opinion only based on years of running this channel and years of observation, study, and personal experience. That said, yes, I propose that hoarding is one of the potential end results of a life committed to narcissism. Here's the short list of why I feel this way. Almost all of the hoarders refuse to take responsibility for what they've done or for what they've created. With this, there are multiple excuses to be made for everything they've either done or failed to do. Almost all of them live in deep denial of the truth and reality. Many of them see nothing wrong with the hoard and in fact believe most of it to be usable, even items covered in animal feces. Most of them generally refuse to receive help, even when that help is free. They'll resist, argue, and fight with their families, professional cleaners, professional organizers, and staff psychologists, even though the services may be of no cost to them. They all ignored the problem until it spiraled out of control. Many of them ignored the problem until city code officials stepped in, or in some cases, until someone actually passed away due to the health complications from living in the home. They all have horrible communication skills, including interrupting, not listening, stonewalling, changing the subject, gaslighting, lying, getting big, mad, and scary, and storming out of the room. And as a result of this, many of their children or spouses are exasperated. They're at their wits' end dealing with the hoarder. Many of their children fled the home and never returned until the date of the filming. For some, it has been in excess of 15 years. They are all exceptionally defensive and display defensive behaviors that prevent real transformation and progress. Absolutely no one can have a real conversation with them. They are all irrational to a morbid degree. I saw so many of them attempting to hold on to urine-soaked, feces-stained, mold-ruined items, even though they were utterly destroyed, and even though they had no use for the item or anywhere to put it. Just completely irrational. Finally, they will continue on until they ultimately destroy themselves, their home, and anyone or anything that lives in it. Some of the homes were so bad, there was a threat of the children being removed to the custody of the state. How much worse can it get than that? The home is so filled to the brim, and the hoarder is either so unwilling or so unable to take action, their children become at risk for removal. Wow, guys! I want to say that I acknowledge the medical community's explanation for hoarding. I would simply like to add to it. To me, hoarding is a clear example of the end of narcissism. In other words, what does narcissism eventually evolve into? What does it become after many years of compounding? How does it present itself after a person has committed a lifetime to it? I believe one of the ways it presents itself is in the form of hoarding. The hoard is like a literal physical supply for them. While some narcissists prefer to pull their supply from people, these types of narcissists like to pull their supply from things. The more things they have, the more supply they have, and therefore the better they feel. As an aside, this is also the end result of mass consumerism. Many decades of shoving so many products down our throats has resulted in homes filled to the brim with things. I can't help but wonder how many other homes are out there just like this, and what awaits the children the day that they have to go clean it all out. As I was watching, I found myself getting angry, wishing the family would stop kowtowing to this person who obviously has no real concern for them and never has. Your home should be a place of peace, rest, solace, and order. It should be, but leave it to a narcissist and that will be destroyed for you. One woman lost her home altogether because it had to be condemned. She wasn't even the hoarder, it was her live-in narcissistic partner. One of the psychologists on one of the episodes said, when people develop a lifestyle of hoarding, they almost have to not notice. If they did, it would be intolerable. Narcissists have trained themselves to not notice things in their life, up to and including massive hoards of things. I think this is also a lesson in not assuming that people living this way have families that won't help them. A lot of times, they absolutely refuse to be helped. People can only butt their heads up against a brick wall for so long before they give up. Sometimes you have to let people live in their choices. Finally, this video is not to condemn anyone engaging in hoarding behaviors. Hopefully, this video helps shed a light on what's going on with you and helps you seek out the help that you need. These are my thoughts. What do you think? Have you seen any hoarding amongst the narcs that you know? Leave it in the comment section below. Take care, and as always, I grant you the permission to exist. Bye-bye.